I'm Joryn Jenkins, and I'd like to talk to you today about the third poster in my Financial Neutral series. This is the first meeting of the Financial Neutral in the collaborative divorce process. It's his first meeting with the clients, and it's kind of an agenda, if you will, that can give the clients some comfort that this is what's going to happen in the meeting. I have many financial neutrals who have put this poster in their offices so that the collaborative clients can see it as they're speaking. The first thing that happens is they introduce themselves. They will explain their background, their credentials, their contact information, whatever the client wants to know. Often the financial neutral has been chosen by the lawyers, and so the clients are first meeting this person. They don't know who he is, they don't know his credentials, they don't know why they should listen to them. And so the financial neutral will talk about that. The other thing that I think is extremely important that neutrals often will talk about is to establish what the client's preferred method of communication is. Some people ignore this. I don't think that's smart. I am not a text person, but I have clients who absolutely are, and so I bow to their whim and I communicate with them by text. I don't prefer to do that, but they're the client. I'm not. So I recommend to my financial neutrals that they find out how these clients prefer to communicate and that they communicate in that realm. They'll review the collaborative process. So they'll explain what their role is and the scope of their work. They will often use one of my two other posters that explain the role and scope of work in order to do that. They'll discuss transparency and confidentiality. They'll talk about the fact that all facts and documents that are relevant will be shared, but that considerations, thoughts, ideas, options are not shared until it's appropriate. Some people will come up with options that are just not something that should be shared with the other side because it would blow up the other side's mind and they'd end up impassing the case. There are thoughts and ideas that occur to people that are just not appropriate. The financial neutral is the person, when it comes to money, who can say, let's not talk about that right now. Maybe put it off. Maybe it'll come back up. Maybe it won't. They'll review the client's expectations and a reasonable timeline. Clients don't understand what a reasonable timeline is until someone explains it to them. So this is a way to remind the financial neutral, talk to the client about what they can expect as far as timing goes. Review the retainer agreement. The financial neutral usually has his own retainer agreement, so they'll review that agreement with the clients and get the clients to sign it. They'll then explore the history of the relationship, at least from a financial perspective. What are the client's financial roles during their relationship with each other? In my experience, opposites attract. We all know that. Spenders and savers get together every day. Often in marriages, one of the parties, whether it's the husband or the wife, is writing the checks. One of them is earning most of the money. Often one of them is staying home and not earning as much money. So we have to talk about the roles that they've had. In my own marriage, for a long time, I wrote the checks, and so I knew how to pay the bills. I knew who the service providers were. My husband had no clue. We switched roles at one point because I got tired of writing checks. And now he's the one who knows all that information. He apparently pays all our bills online. I haven't got a clue how to do that. This is very normal. It's normal in almost all of our divorce cases. We've got one client who knows how to pay the bills and one who has no clue. So we have to talk about that, and the financial neutral is the guy to do that. And then again, we explore the client's post-divorce financial goals and interests. So we've talked about this, but now in the first meeting, this is where this is actually happening. We're exploring what they'd like their lives to look like in 5 years, what they'd like their kids' lives to look like in 5 years. Do they expect their kids to go to college? In Florida, a judge can't order that to happen, but in collaboration, the financial neutral can talk about that if that's what someone's goal is. And then finally, at this first meeting, they'll assign homework. They'll assign collecting budget and asset and liability information if that hasn't already been done. Sometimes this is done before the first meeting, but if it hasn't been, then this is the time when it gets assigned to the clients. And off they go.